Everyone should spend time getting good at the straight ankle lock. There are a lot of reasons for this. First of all, it's legal in all aspects of jiu-jitsu, from white belt to black belt. It's good gi, it's good no gi, and it helps you set up other leg locks. And if you get good at this base entanglement, which itself is a high percentage submission, you're gonna make all those other advanced leg locks, when you start doing those, much more effective. I know a lot of guys that skipped straight to heel hooks because those were like the cool forbidden fruit technique, and their heel hooks are never as good as they would have been had they spent time like getting really rock solid basics with this straight ankle lock. And so that's what we're gonna go into today. We're gonna learn how to finish the straight ankle lock and how to defend the straight ankle lock with both some finishing details for the straight ankle lock as well as the standard escape from it. So if you guys sits in front of me, and like just imagine that we've been in Achilles or in single leg X grip, right? So I have my inside leg comes to the outside, my heel posts on his hip, and I pinch my knees together. I'm gonna take my arm and wrap it around his leg. Now I don't worry too much about how high this gets just yet. There are many variations for the straight ankle lock, but we'll explain the mechanics in just a second. I'm gonna make a fist with this hand, make what I call a ball and socket. Ball, socket, and I'm gonna lift this socket, the ball and socket, right up to the middle of my chest. So I'm here and here, pinching my knees together. Now, you see Elias is ready to tap already. The reason for this is my hands are high at my chest, and I'll show you from a different angle in a second. Now, all I'm gonna do is make my chest proud posture, as I puff my chest out and gently move my hips towards the ceiling, and he taps, right? So, all this is doing, this variation is an Achilles lock, essentially. There are a lot of different kinds of foot locks, and some people will try to fold the foot to break it like that, but this particular type of straight ankle lock puts a lot of pressure on the Achilles. So I want the blade of my wrist right on his Achilles tendon. So I wrap, connect my legs. As I connect my legs, I lift my fist right up to his chest, to the middle of my chest, and now I puff my chest out and just very gently raise my hips, and he taps. Now I'm gonna make just one adjustment, and it's not gonna work. Just stay right here, please. So I have my hand in the middle of my chest, ball, socket. Not a lot of space for his foot. Puff my chest out, still not, even less space, and a lot more power as my chest and my hips move forward. And I'm gonna do it wrong now, and I'm gonna show you what a difference this hand position makes. Because if I let my hand slip down to my belt knot, you see how much space there is? And so you saw how quickly Elias wanted to tap it, right? And like we get there, and now, a little bit there. Yeah, right? Pretty fast. The only thing that changed is my hand is down by my belt knot instead of being up by my chest. And that's what's gonna make all the difference. If the hand's down here, it's gonna be really, really tough to get it to finish. So we want the hand up here. So how do we get it up there? I go from creepy old man chest to proud chest, and here's what I mean by that. Pinch my knees together, right? It can be hard to drag your fist up to the middle. So what I do is I hollow out my chest and lift my fist. And now, my chest goes from concave to convex again. I don't even need to move my hips, right? So if your chest is puffed out, it can be hard to drag this arm up because there's friction. So what you do is hollow out your chest, very easy to drag it up. Now puff your chest out, and the ankle lock finishes very, very quickly. So one more time. I want to say one other thing, which is talking about the position of the other foot. The most critical thing that we want here is, so I want your head here and your feet here, please. So the most important thing here is to isolate this leg with a good pinch so that we can attack this leg. But people do different things with this other foot. It's fine to put it under the near hip because this will finish. It's fine to put it from the far hip because this will finish. Usually, And so I think it's fine either way. The advantage to this is it's very difficult for him to roll away from you. So if you want to just hold him there and complete the straight ankle lock, putting this foot as a backstop into his far side hip is very useful. Here, you might want him to roll away from you. And so you sort of bait him to do that. And we'll talk about why as we get into the other straight ankle locks. Either way, it's going to finish. So one more time with the finish, and then we're going to do the escape. So I have my foot on his hip, my knees pinched together, I make my chest hollow, lift my chest up. Now I puff my chest out, very gently lift my hips for the tap. Obviously we could go down a deep well of straight ankle locks because there's a rich vein there, and I just want to reiterate, like, spend time getting good at the straight ankle lock. It will really pay dividends both in submissions, but also forcing your partner into doing things that set up your other ankle lock. So it really will help your leg lock game flourish. So let's talk about the standard escape. And this time, Achilles is going to get me in the position. So, whichever. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to talk about what I was taught and what was the orthodox method for a while that I don't teach anymore. Not because it doesn't work, but I think because there's another method that's more optimal. So there are two things that Achilles is doing to break my foot. He's obviously got his grip that's putting pressure on my leg, but he's also keeping my body away from him with this foot on my hip, right? So that if I try to bring my body back to my foot, I can't. So for a long time, the standard escape was post, push this foot off your hip, sit, and try to get up on top. Because now he's not controlling distance anymore. This works, and you'll see it happen, and you'll see it work. The problem with it is it lends itself really well to a counter. So if Achilles takes this foot and steps over here now, and he can go belly down, which makes it much worse for me. And so, and now I can no longer successfully control distance anymore, right? Because I can push this foot up my hip and come at him, but now if I try to come at him, he's controlling distance. And now if he turns belly down, go ahead and do it. Oh crap. Now it's going to torque my knee if it doesn't torque my ankle. So you will see that, and that move does work. But the reason that we don't teach it from fundamentals up anymore is just because we don't want you to get in the habit of doing a move that's going to work for a while and then suddenly set you up for counterattack. So instead, here's what we're going to do. Remember, he needs to do two things. He needs to put pressure on my foot, and he needs to stop me from bringing my body back to my foot. So instead, what I'm going to do, instead of pushing this off, I'm going to come to my side and create space. So I relax, come to my side, and extend my body out. The reason I'm going to do this is because I want to use my leg to beat his leg. I bring my leg over, and I break the grip. As I break the grip, post, grab the collar, come up. Remember what we said earlier about holding onto a sinking ship. Achilles is smart, and he's doing this for the sake of the video. If he continues to hold onto my leg, I'm going to mount him, right? And that's terrible for him. What Achilles would really do is once he realizes he's in trouble, he would let go of my leg and move his butt back, right? And so, more of a neutral position. But I want to point that out for two reasons. First of all, you will see guys that just hold onto your foot, in which case, just go ahead and mount them. And also to reiterate that concept of don't hold on to a sinking ship. Once you realize the guy has escaped from the position and you can no longer control distance, you need to let go and do something else. So let's do the escape a couple more times. Remember, we need to free our foot and we need to stop him from being able to control distance. If I just, like, I can push this foot off with my hand, right? But if I try to pull this off with my hand, go ahead and don't let me. I better be Clayton the Destroyer if I want to pull this, right? So I can't. So I need to use my leg against his leg and my whole hips against his leg. But if I just try to bring my knee over now, it's not very much space. So I fall to my side, extend my body out. Now, there's plenty of space. And you can see already that the pinch is happening. And Achilles, I'm going to ask you to try and finish the ankle lock. Just really try and crank on it. I assure you, he's trying to finish it. And so now, pause for just a sec. Now pinch your knees together, get the pinch that you want. And now try and finish it, and I'll tap when I need to. Yeah. Not so nice. If we can disrupt that pinch, then we can escape. So the first thing we do, go to our side, extend our body out, and he comes. Remember, even if he's cranking, you just saw it. Elias tried to crank as hard as he could. If he doesn't have control of my hips and legs, he's not going to be able to control my ankle or break my ankle. So I stop, come up on my hand, grab. Use this to pull myself up. If he just continues to grab my ankle, we'll take that all day. If not, we've escaped from the ankle lock, which is what we wanted to begin with. So let me shadow box that without Elias in there one time. We're caught in the ankle lock, fall to our side. Extend our body out, which creates the space for this to come over. Separate the knees from pinching together. Come to your elbow, get the grip. And we come to the mounted position. On back. So, the ankle lock is a deep well. We could spend a lot of time on it. But the critical thing you need to remember is we need to isolate the foot to break it, and we need to control distance, keeping his body or her body away from the foot in order for it to be a success. So that's what we do on the front end, attacking it. On the back end, we need to disrupt that knee pinch in order to really effectively get out of the ankle lock.